In today's video, we're going to be reacting to the latest strange and more questionable clips that I could find on TikTok. Let's get into it.
There's something interesting going on right now, and that is a lot of stories and a lot of witnesses coming forward to witness these cloaked beings. And I do have a video for you that was submitted by a viewer. He recorded what looks like one of those cloaked beings. I even threw this into thermal imaging, and you can still see it. It almost gives you the vibes of Predator. But then we have to ask ourselves, what are these things? Is it a trick of the light? Or is there more to our world than we realize? Take a look at this footage, comment below, tell me what you think, and if you have your own videos, your own stories, your own pictures, please send them to me at contact@paranormallink.com. Again, the email is contact@paranormallink.com.
That did kinda look ghostly, but my main guess is it's just a reflection out of the window. If not, then yeah, it could have been a ghost just taking a casual stroll down the street.
This video is probably one of the most scariest videos on the internet because the vibe you get after watching it.
I'm just coming through the hole first, might be a body in there. Or a tramp with no tooth.
East what, so far? East wind.
Can you get him?
Now listen very closely.
Can you get him? Get him. Get him. Get him.
This is one of those videos that have you paranoid after watching it. But what do you think?
Wow, it's actually been a very long time since I seen the actual video that we just watched. That was out way before AI was a thing. But as far as the video being real, I do genuinely think that the audio was real, and even the photo at the end is possibly a real photo. And it could just be a really big case of pareidolia, though that really does look like something staring back at you. Let me know what you guys think about this video.
A nurse was so lazy that he killed his patients to reduce his workload. Reports are coming out today that an unnamed 44-year-old German man has been sentenced to life in prison after killing 10 of his patients and attempting to murder at least 27 others. Prosecutors say that he targeted mainly his elderly patients by injecting them with lethal amounts of painkillers or sedatives to ease his workload during night shifts. Bro, killing because you can't be asked is wild. But what makes this even worse is that all of these offenses took place over a period of just 6 months. And it might not even end there because authorities believe that he could be linked to even more victims prior to this.
That's just disgusting. And that's something that I've always worried about in the medical field, so I've always kind of avoided going to the hospital or doctor's office in general, because I am afraid that someone's just going to be really lazy and not want to do their job, and they're going to be like, okay, well, I'll never have to worry about you again, just let me handle you real quick. But with this, I'm glad that he was caught, because that is awful. A lot of people lost family members that they had no business losing them to because someone just didn't want to do their job. There's just some really heartless, evil people out there.
Ever feel like you're being watched? Well, you could be right. I ain't sleeping again. No. Studies show that humans can actually sense when someone is staring at them. Oh, cheers, Matt. Just really what I needed to know. I've spoken before about something called body sensing, like if you wake up randomly at 3 AM, maybe there's a ghost in the room with you. But this is known as gaze detection. It's powered by tiny brain signals that detect eye contact. But there's been a lot of reports before of people turning their heads towards security cameras before they even turn on, like seconds before. Now, scientists at Yale actually tested this to find out what was going on, and found out that our bodies actually react before we consciously know that we are. Our brains and our bodies are extremely smart that they can basically detect if someone is making eye contact or looking at us or following us. So if you do ever wake up randomly in the night, maybe it's something not human looking at you. And if you do ever feel like you're being watched or followed, maybe you are.
This is definitely a strange thing. A lot of times while I'm sitting in the living room watching TV, I get this weird feeling that I'm being stared at. I look over and my wife's staring at me. Also, as kids, me and my cousin, we would do this really messed up thing to his little brother, where at nighttime when his brother would be asleep, we would literally just stare at him because we thought it was funny that it would make him toss and turn. He would be completely normal until we started staring at him, and then he would start moving uncomfortably. We would just do that because we thought it was funny. Now looking back, I feel kind of bad. Might even be one of the reasons why I don't sleep very well at night. But as humans, we definitely do have a sense of knowing when something is staring at us. At least I think a good majority of people do. Hey, if you haven't done so already and you're enjoying the show, give it a like. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I upload a video like this every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. And for everyone that's watching and or subscribed, thank you so much for supporting the channel.
The FAA is restricting flights, but also rockets because of the shutdown. The Federal Aviation Administration, which oversees all things air, is going to be reducing flights by 10% because air traffic controllers, which are federal employees, haven't been paid since last month because of the government shutdown. And so many of them have picked up a second job to pay the bills, and fatigue and burnout is now a major concern. What you may not know is this also impacts rockets, because SpaceX and Blue Origin all need approval from the FAA to launch and re-enter our airspace. And now they can only launch at night. Different vehicles launch at different times for different reasons, but generally launching during the day is easier because visibility. People can work during their regular work hours, but also because some rockets need to launch at a specific time to take advantage of the sun, or because they need a slingshot a certain way to their location. So timing does matter. And with multiple launches being scheduled in the next few weeks, someone is gonna lose out. How much of a disruption is this going to be for you? There are about 44,000 flights every day. And while the 10% cut is only at 40 airports right now, that isn't everybody, but it is still hundreds of flights. You might miss Thanksgiving, but at least you don't have to explain Tinder to your grandma.
For everyone that has to work without pay during this time, I'm so sorry that that is happening. I get that things have to be done, but if you can't pay for the time and effort, then you can do it yourself. And if all of these other people have a second job just to keep the bills paid, they should really focus on trying to find another job to advance in that career, just to prove the point that you do not need to be a federal employee, because at least you'll get paid elsewhere. It's just up and finding other jobs is not that easy. But if there is some of these federal employees that do have a second job, at least you have that going for you.
This is a warning. In 6 weeks, there will be a catastrophic event. And within this event, you as the people, right, will have to decide what is real and what isn't. You feel me? What isn't real, okay? Stay with me here, okay? Keep an eye on 3i Atlas, okay? 3i Atlas is now being described as a potential alien craft. So something that could be over 30 miles long and 10 miles wide has the potential to be an alien craft. And I know a lot of people are instantly going to go to the theory of Project You Know What. But I want you to think outside the box here for a second, okay? Because there's been a lot of events that have already occurred this year that kind of line up a series of events that, let's just say, have been prophesied. And I mean from numerous texts, okay? And I feel like there is going to be an event where there is an, in quotations, second coming, okay? And of course, within this second coming, there will be a certain figure of which everybody is, of course, looking forward to seeing. How do I say this? I wonder how an AI hologram would look. I'm pretty sure you get my point that I'm trying to make. I mean, this comet has no characteristics of a comet. It went behind the sun and then its tail disappeared. Disappeared. Every day of this year, I feel like I've just been
That's a pretty bold claim to say that something catastrophic will happen in 6 weeks. I'll keep a reminder on this video so that we can come back to it just to see if anything did happen. 3i Atlas is a pretty big mystery.
This woman claims she has actually met many different angels. Watch this.
You said, what about the angel?
Oh, he come to this house here.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, who are you? He said, I'm an angel from heaven. So God sent me down. He said, I'm not the only person God sent down. They sent down over 100 angels to watch on people like me.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, how he know me? He said, God knows you by name. he sent me down to your address. I said, well, how he know my address?
Don't tell me your address, but when you say he don't come through the door, how do he come in?
In the light.
In the light?
In the
Yeah.
light.
But from that night on, that day on, he tried to talk stuff to me.
When he sat on your thing that had as a light to you, you say he'll touch you and it feels like what now?
He'll do what?
You said when he touches you, it feels like what? It feels cold?
He touched, no, it's like this.
And you said you think it's what? Medicine?
Yeah, cold drops of water. I say it's water, but it's like some drops of rain.
Mm-hmm.
Drops on my leg, this leg here. Because I be praying for the whole body, but it drops it down low in here.
Mm-hmm.
1 or 2 drops, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
And I never see it and I never feel nothing, because when I feel it, I feel like it's water.
And what do you believe it is?
I believe it's medicine from God.
Okay.
Because I told Helen about it.
My Lord.
And Helen said, Mama, said, that's what it is. That's medicine, but you think it's water. I said, because it'll be cold.
Right.
That's truly got to be an amazing experience to go through. Obviously, she's quite up there in age, but she does not at all sound frightened about it, and nor should she. If she is being visited by an angel, and she believes that she's getting healed by medicine from God, I think that that's awesome. And I could only imagine what that experience has to be like going through it in the moment. As her, you're seeing this being come from light, sitting at the edge of your bed, putting something on your legs, and you just only can describe it as cold drops of water. That's got to be a fascinating experience, especially if you're not frightened. And I'm just really glad that it can bring her comfort.
Do Teslas have a built-in ghost detector inside of them? People believe that Teslas are not only seeing the living, but the non-living. This all come from a few Tesla owners who claimed that when they drove through graveyards, the Tesla started to detect people who weren't actually there, people who weren't visible to the human eye. Are these cars seeing the afterlife? Was this Elon Musk's intention?
Whether it can see ghosts or not, to me that looks like a flaw in the system that could cause a bunch of trouble in the future. If it's seeing something that's not there, that sounds like a serious hazard. Could you imagine going down the highway and all of a sudden your Tesla believes that it sees something walking across the road and it does an immediate stop? Next thing you know, you're getting launched out and you become the ghost walking across the road.
Bro, China really be living in the future sometimes. They just set a world record after 16,000 drones took to the sky in what is now the largest synchronized drone display ever recorded. But the craziest part about this is that the previous world record, which they also had, was only 5,164, which was set in 2021. And now they tripled that in just a matter of years. Each drone followed a specific program flight path to create visuals of towers, blossoms, and a glowing sky tree, which then had fireworks launched out of its branches. What the hell are they going to do in 2030?
I've also seen some videos where those drones have malfunctioned and it was raining fire from the sky. But honestly, when it all works, it does look really cool. The only problem is I see a future where they're going to use this as advertisements. You're just going to be driving and the next thing you know, you just have a swarm of drones following you in the shape of a Pepsi logo or a McDonald's sign. And that's just unnecessary, but I definitely believe that that's going to happen.
Researchers in Switzerland have invented smart socks, which I would normally make fun of as a useless smart device, but these are actually designed to help diabetics feel their feet again, which is very, very important. You can see some pictured here. But the way this works is that they have designed these socks to use non-invasive electrical impulses to provide customized therapy by stimulating specific nerve strands and restoring sensation in the feet. This is extremely important because it could potentially negate the need for strong painkillers that are typically used to treat this debilitating condition, of which affects, it says about half of the world's 560 million diabetic patients suffer from diabetic neuropathy. So ballpark 275 million people could benefit from this technology every year. And this, what we're specifically talking about, is nerve damage in the calf nerve that prevents sensations from the foot going to the brain, which makes it hard to walk, increases the risk of falling. If you have a diabetic in your family, you're probably very familiar with this. So there's a team at Minerva and a spin-off company in ETH Zurich, which has developed a way to address this with smart textiles and AI processing. The Leia sock has pressure sensors on the sole to map the pressure distribution while you walk, an ultra-compact computer on the sock shaft that converts this into electrical signals, and then finally electrodes are sewn into the fabric and send signals from the pressure map directly to a healthy functioning part of the wearer's nervous system so that you can feel the ground beneath your feet again, and it also alleviates pain. I think this is an extremely important piece of technology. Diabetes, especially type 2 diabetes with diabetic neuropathy, is one of the most common diseases on the planet, and it's not even good for the prognosis of the patient to lose their feet because then they can't walk and exercise. And this is a non-invasive, non-surgical, non-wild, cuckoo crazy way to restore feeling in diabetic feet, which I think is an impressive piece of scientific achievement.
Man, oh man, my mother, she could have used this a long time ago. She was a type 2 diabetic for majority of my life, and she suffered with horrible feet pain and leg pain all day. I remember sitting there rubbing her feet, and she would basically scream in pain because it hurt, but it also helped stimulate the nerves, so it really needed to be done. Something like this would have made a world of difference for her. And honestly, I really cannot believe that this has not been out sooner because it makes sense. This could probably help elderly people as well. Definitely seems like a good piece of technology to me.
As above, so below, so within, so without. And when you understand that ancient phrase, you begin to realize that the true journey is the journey to inner space. Outer space is here, and outer space does exist, but the inner space is what manifests on the outer space. And they understood also the interconnectedness or the correspondence between what's going on inside of you and what's going on in the outside of you. It also really spells out the world of fractals, and that everything throughout the entire known universe is a fractal of something else. When you understand how powerful this is, it can really affect and change your life in a very positive way. You begin to realize that the human body itself is nothing more than a fractal of the universe as a whole.
Wow, it's been a while since a Billy Carson video has popped up in my feed. Looking into his channel, he still talks about the Book of Enoch and the Emerald Tablets here and there, or at least he's rehashing old clips, but he does have a new book out. I would actually like to hear what he has to say more on this subject. Let me know if you're interested in the comments. And trust me, I know there's a lot of Billy Carson haters out there, but this could possibly be a little bit better suited for him.
The following video is from a man named Nikolai. He is into the Halloween business, specifically haunted houses. It's in they're breaking down, but then something terrifying happens. Something is dropped off or just shows up there. He claims it doesn't belong to the exhibit. It's not theirs. He has no idea what it is. But this doll is absolutely terrifying and it won't stop talking. Take a look at this. Comment below. Tell us what you would do.
So this is creepy. We're here breaking down the haunted house for the season. Just casually was walking over here. Just noticed that there's something by the cone.
Do you want to play with me and all my friends? Come out, wherever you are.
This was not in the corn maze. This was not in the house.
Why do you look so scared? Everyone in the graveyard just wants to be friends.
No idea where this came from, and it's powered up.
I love the cemetery, especially at midnight, when it's colder, when the other children are long asleep, and the dead awaken.
Yeah,
Do you
that's...
want to play with me and all my friends? Come out, wherever you are.
That's gonna stay there. That's, yeah.
Do you want to play with me and all my friends?
I mean, if it's at a haunted house attraction, I'm sure someone just left it there, but it is disturbing.
Is this gonna be our generation's JFK conspiracy theory? Because when did you find out they paved over the area where Charlie Kirk got shot just 5 days after it happened? Or what Google search terms were trending in the White House region just a few days before alleged gunner Tyler Robinson is said to have sniped Kirk from a rooftop about 200 yards away? With initial claims stating the company behind the paving job was Precision Granite and Marble LLC, owned by Matt Robinson. Tyler Robinson's dad. Now, later reports interjected, claiming the official contractor remains undisclosed, and somehow no one really knows who was actually behind the job. But still, why pour cement and bricks all over the crime scene of such a high-profile incident just a few days later? Which they did on a Sunday, just the most rushed and spontaneous paving contract you could ever imagine. Oh, because they claim it was part of a routine post-incident restoration and safety cleanup after investigators had finished processing the scene. Restoration and safety cleanup by permanently paving over the site with bricks? Right, I'm sure that's exactly what it was. Just like how searches for Tyler James Robinson, the full name of the main suspect behind the shooting, skyrocketed on September 12th when the police caught him. Which makes sense, everyone wanted to know who he was and were looking him up. But if you go back just a little bit on Google Trends, we see a small spike for this very specific name on September 9th. The day before it happened. And zooming in, we see that search spike just so happens to come out of the Washington, D.C. region, where, you know, the US government operates from. Kinda weird, don't you think? I'm sure it's nothing, but it doesn't end there. Cause searches for the term Losi Center, which is the name of the campus building that Tyler shot from, also sees a totally random spike in search activity on September 8th. 2 days before it happened out of, you guessed it, the DC area. And again, we see the huge surge here after the rest of us found out where it happened. Or the search term Mauser 98, a fairly obscure vintage German bolt-action rifle from World War II that happened to be Robinson's very specific weapon of choice for the job, saw its own nothing to see here spike in search volume on August 27th, exactly 2 weeks before the incident. Once again from the capital DC region of the United States. Not implying anything here, just showing you the Carfax. As a matter of fact, you can even look this up yourself to confirm. This is publicly available data on Google Trends after all. Oh wait, never mind, you actually can't, because when you search those terms within those time windows now, the data is gone. So now we get a divide. The conspiracy theorists are going to claim the government and Google is scrubbing the search data from the internet, rewriting reality, making it seem like it was never there to begin with, Ministry of Truth style, 6 feet under. And the debunkers are just going to insist the search data was never even there in the first place, that all these images posted by multiple different accounts online are all fake and edited to spread a false narrative, even though we have people coming out with new video angles of the incident, saying the FBI is reaching out and telling them to delete the footage from their phones because it might trigger PTSD. And Judge Tony Graff, appointed to this case, issued a sweeping gag order restricting attorneys, law enforcement, and the over 3,000 plus witnesses at the event from making any public statements about the incident. Oh, and also stated that no cameras are allowed in the courtroom during this public trial. But you know, they're definitely not trying to hide anything here. These are all just silly little coincidences, business as usual, and none of this is real. Which honestly, at this point, we can never actually know what even is real anymore.
Well, rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. And yeah, everything that goes around this situation is very messy right now. There's a lot of conspiracy theorists right now going off saying that Matt Robinson sacrificed his son basically to join the Illuminati, and or Charlie Kirk's wife did that. There's even some people out there that say Charlie Kirk is still alive. But with that being said, is this our generations of the JFK assassination? As of right now, I would go ahead and say yes. With all the conspiracies going around this, to the point where I have a feeling it'll never truly be solved, or where people will be satisfied with the answer, then yes, this I would think would be our generation's version of the JFK assassination. Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and even your own theories in the comments.
Okay, I'm at the Coastal Carolina Fair and Ladson, South Carolina. The power just went out, and look at these guys stuck up here.
Jeez. I do not like fairs. I do not trust the rides. I enjoy fairs. I do not like the rides. I'll play all the games on the ground. I may even eat some of the food there. But as far as getting on those types of rides, no thank you.
The most haunted places in England, and this is the Golden Fleece Inn. The inn is situated in York, and it is claimed to have 15 residential ghosts that linger there. The Golden Fleece has become a hotspot for tourists who fancy an overnight stay with a twist. The building dates back to the 15th century, and over the years these walls have witnessed death, history, and drama. The former owner, Alice, is said to be the most prominent and most cited apparition of them all. Her spirit has been seen wandering through the corridors and the staircases at night. Poltergeist activity has been witnessed inside of the rooms, with some guests claiming that furniture has moved right in front of their eyes. The young Victorian boy was actually tragically killed outside of the inn after being trampled on by horses. It is believed that the Victorian boy's spirit has now attached itself to the Golden Fleece. People have described his energy as fun and playful, and the sound of him giggling echoes through the bar. There has been lots of deaths which have actually been reported in this building, including the death of Jeff Monroe. He was a British airman who died in 1944 after falling from the upstairs windows of the inn. Any investigations have centred around Jeff, with his distinctive uniform being cited. During the day, this place is used as a standard bar, and apparently the food is incredible. It is definitely on my list to visit very, very soon, and I'm excited to give you guys some inside footage. Would you stay at the Golden Fleece?
I would give the Golden Fleece a try. I looked them up here online, and they do not seem creepy whatsoever as far as their website goes. It actually looks kind of cozy. And the food doesn't look too bad either. I have a lot of viewers that are from the United Kingdom, so let me know, have you ever tried staying at this place? And or have you heard about it? The food actually looks pretty good. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end today's video. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching these clips with me. Sorry if my audio sounds a little different. I'm trying to get settings situated. I moved a lot of things around in my office and I messed up my microphone, so now my settings are all out of whack. Hopefully my audio wasn't so bad that it upset you, and I'll try to have it fixed by the next video. With that, if today's your birthday, happy birthday, and if not, have a good day anyways.